into some college basketball. We got a nice Saturday slate, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at 4 games and narrow it down as the nephew is singing SpongeBob in the background. All right, let's go ahead and get started with Kentucky at Tennessee. 2 o'clock tip-off at Tennessee. The Volunteers open the betting as the 2.5-point favorite. Total open 141.5. And since that one opened up, we're seeing a little bit of money on Tennessee when it comes to the spread. We're also seeing movement toward the under when it comes to the total. That line moved down to 141. The spread moved up to -3. So once again, the Volunteers opened 2.5 up to -3. Total open 141.5 down to 141 even. 53% are leaning toward Tennessee, 60% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Wildcats are plus 130 on the money line. Now, Tennessee ranks 3rd in the nation in field goal percentage. They're shooting 50.5% from the field. Their offense is also putting up 83.2 points per contest on average. They're being led by Grant Williams, who's dropping 19 points per contest and bringing down 8 rebounds a game on average as well. Now, Kentucky, on their side of things, they failed to cover in 3 out of their last 5. They also rank 179th in defending the 3-ball in the nation. Now, when it comes to scoring, Tennessee 75% to the over, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. I'm going to lean Tennessee -3 and the over 141 in that matchup there. Another over, babe. I just took another over. All right, next game. Butler at Villanova, 2 o'clock tip-off at the Pavilion on the main line in Radnor, Pennsylvania. Villanova opened 7.5, total open 137 and a hook. And since that one opened up, not a whole lot of movement on the spread. We're seeing some pretty good two-way action when it comes to that number there. Although we did see a little bit of movement downward when it comes to the total. That moved down to 137. Spread remains at 7.5. So once again, Villanova open and remains -7.5. Total open 137 and a hook, down to 137 even. 70% of the consensus is leaning toward Villanova. 85% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Butler is plus 275 for some money line cash. Now, Villanova successfully covered the number in 5 out of their last 6 at the Pavilion. They're also 13-4 straight up in their last 17. Their defense is allowing just 64 points per contest on their home court. Villanova's 10-5 against the spread, taking on teams allowing 67 to 72 points per contest. They're being led by Phil Booth, who's dropping 18.3 points per contest. Now, Butler, on their side of things, they dropped 7 out of their last 9 straight up on the road. They're also just 2-7 against the spread in their last 9 at any location. They failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6 away from home as well. Now, total-wise, Butler is 67% to the over in their games that tipped off at the current posted total. I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, slide it down, and take Villanova -7 in the over 137 in that matchup there. Another over for me. Man, we're getting over heavy today. All right, next game. Miami, Florida at Duke. 4 o'clock tip-off at Duke. And this could be a massacre. Let's take a look and dive into this game. Duke opened -16, total open 148.5. And since that one opened up, not a whole lot of movement on the total. Two-way action on that line there. We are seeing Duke take a little bit of money. They're up to -16.5. So once again, the Blue Devils opened 16 up to -16.5. Total open 148 and a hook. That remains at 148.5. 59% are leaning Duke, 86% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Hurricanes are plus 1150 on the money line. Now, if you like Duke in this matchup here, they failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5. They're also just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 at Cameron Indoor. The Blue Devils ranked 249th in the country in 3-point percentage. They also ranked 195th in home defensive rebounding. Now, on the Miami side, they're 5-2 against the number in their last 7. They're being led by Chris Likes, who's scoring 17 points per contest. The Hurricanes are also 2-0 against the spread in their couple of games that tipped off at the current number. Now, total-wise, Miami's just 3-8 to the over, taking on teams averaging more than 72 points per contest. Give me the Hurricanes of Miami, plus 17 after buying the 0.5 point. and the under 148.5 in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for our college slate. It is going to be UNC, the Tar Heels, at Clemson. And that is going to be a 6 o'clock tip-off at Clemson. The Tar Heels open the betting as the 4-point favorite. Total open 147.5. And since that one opened up, we're seeing two-way action on the total. No movement there as of yet. We are seeing a little bit of movement toward UNC. Half a point move in their favor. So once again, UNC open -4 up to -4.5. Total is 147 and a hook. 71% are leaning Tar Heels. 62% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Clemson's plus 165 on the money line. Now, if you like Clemson catching a couple points at home here, just keep in mind they're taking on a North Carolina team who ranks 3rd in the country in scoring. They're dropping 87.3 points per contest. They also rank 1st in college basketball in offensive rebounding. They're being led by Cameron Johnson, who's dropping 17 points per contest. He's also bringing down 6 rebounds a game. They're also being led by Colby White, who's scoring 16 points per contest as well. UNC's covering 80% of their games as the official road favorite. They're also 3-0 against the number, taking on teams between 500 and 650. Now, on the Clemson side of things, they're just 5-9 against the spread, taking on teams over 650. They're also covering just 28% of their games when catching the points. Now, total-wise, Clemson's just 37% to the over, taking on teams averaging more than 72 points per contest. The Tar Heels are just 33% to the over after 4 or more days off. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, slide it down, and take the Tar Heels -4 and the under 147.5 in that matchup there. All right, next and final sport. Next and final slate for the show. It is going to be in the NHL, and we're going to start off with a doozy of a game. Ottawa at Tampa Bay. 7 o'clock puck drop in the Amalie Arena. Tampa Bay opened the betting as the $3.45 favorite. Total open up at 6.5. And since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement when it comes to the physical line when it comes to the total. That's still at 6.5. But we're seeing Tampa Bay take an absurd amount of money. That moved all the way up to -450. Right now, Tampa Bay is laying 450 when it comes to the money line. Once again, total remains at 6.5. Once again, Tampa Bay open 345 all the way up to 450. Totals at 6.5. 88% of the consensus is leaning toward Tampa Bay. 71% shaded toward the over. Right now, Ottawa's plus 385 for some money line cash, and Tampa Bay's -150 on the puck line. -150, laying the goal at a half. Absolutely unbelievable. We have Nilsson projected in net for Ottawa. Vasilevsky projected in net for Tampa Bay. The Lightning's 10-1 straight up in their last 11, 5-0 straight up in their last 5 at home. They rank 1st in scoring in the NHL, and they're winning 79% of their games on their home ice. Ottawa on the other side, well, they just won 8 out of 31 games on the road this year. 8-23 straight up on the road. They rank dead last in road goals allowed at 4.5. And when it comes to the total, Ottawa's 5-2 to the over in their last 7 when traveling. Tampa Bay 71% to the over, taking on teams under 450. If Ottawa upsets Tampa Bay here, you'll probably hear people talk about this for a couple of years to come. This is like one of those odd MLB lines that was happening last year in like those White Sox and Baltimore games. But anyway, rambling aside, I'm going to make the very square pleb unoriginal play. Give me Tampa Bay -1.5 and the over 6.5 goals in that matchup there. All right, next game, Devils Bruins, 7 o'clock puck drop in Boston. Boston opened the betting as the $3.05 favorite. Total open at 5.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're just seeing a nickel fade of Boston when it comes to that money line. They're now the $3 favorite. Total moved up to an even 6. So once again, the Bruins open 305 down to -300. Total open 5.5 up to 6. 57% of the consensus is now shaded toward the under. At the moment, New Jersey is plus 250 on the money line, and Boston's plus $1, laying the goal and a half. Now we have Blackwood projected in net for New Jersey. Tuukka Rask projected in net for Boston. Boston's 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games, and as I always explain, when I refer to the spread in hockey, I'm actually referring to the puck line. So Boston 5-0 in their last 5.